Conversation in the Mountains. One evening the sun, and not only that, had gone down. Then there went walking, stepping out of his cottage, went the Jew and son of a Jew, and with him went his name, unspeakable, went and came shuffling along, made himself heard, came with his stick, came over the stone. Do you hear me? You hear me? I'm the one. I and the one that you hear, that you think you hear. I and the other one. So he walked, you could hear it, went walking one evening when something had gone down, went beneath the clouds, went in the shadow, his own and alien, because a Jew, you know, now what has he got that really belongs to him, that's not borrowed, on loan and still owed? So then he went and came down this road that's beautiful, that's incomparable, went walking like lengths through the mountains, he, whom they let live down below where he belongs, in the lowland, he, the Jew, came and he came. Came, yes, down this road that's beautiful. And who do you think came toward him? Toward him came his cousin, his kin and first cousin, older by a quarter of a Jew's lifetime. He came along big. He too came in his shadow, the borrowed one, because I'm asking, who, if God's made him be a Jew, comes along with something his very own. Came big, came towards the other one. Gross came up to Klein, and Klein, the Jew, bade his stick be silent in front of Jew Gross's stick. So the stone was silent too, and it was quiet in the mountains where they walked, himself and that one. So it was quiet up there in the mountains. It wasn't quiet for long, because when one Jew comes along and meets another, then it's goodbye silence, even in the mountains, because the Jew and nature, that's two very different things, as always, even today, even here. So there they stand, first cousins. On the left is Turk's Cap, in bloom, blooming wild, blooming like nowhere, and on the right there's some rampion, and Dianthus superbus, the superb pink, growing not far off. But they, the cousins, they've got, God help us, no eyes. More precisely, they've got eyes, even they do, but there's a veil hanging in front, not in front, no, behind, a movable veil. No sooner does an image go in that it catches a web, and right away there's a thread spinning there. It spins itself around the image, a thread in the veil, spins around the image and spawns a child with it, half image and half veil. Poor Turk's Cap, poor Rampion. There they stand, the cousins, standing on a road in the mountains. The stick is silent, the stone is silent, and the silence is no silence, no words going mute, and no phrase. It's merely a pause, it's a word gap, it's a vacant space, and you can see the syllables all standing around. Tongue is what they are, and mouth, these two, like before, and the veil is hanging in their eyes, and you poor things, you're not there, and not blooming, you do not exist, and July is no July. The babblers, they've got, even now, with their tongues bumping dumbly against their teeth, and their lips going slack, something to say to each other. All right, let them talk. A good way you've come all the way here. So I have, I've come like you. Don't I know it? You know it, you know and you see. Up here the earth has folded over, it's folded once and twice and three times, and opened up in the middle, and in the middle there's some water, and the water is green, and the green is white, and the white comes from up further, comes from the glaciers. Now you could say, but you shouldn't, that that's the kind of speech that counts here. The green with the white in it, a language not for you and not for me. Because I'm asking, who is it meant for then? The earth, it's not meant for you. I'm saying, and not for me. Well then, a language with no I and no thou, pure he, pure it, do you see, pure they, and nothing but that. I know, yes, I've come a long way, I've come like you. I know. You know, and you're still asking. So you've come anyway, you've anyway come here. Why, and what for? Why and what for? Because maybe I had to talk, to myself or to you, had to talk with my mouth and my tongue, and not just with my stick. Because who does it talk to, the stick? It talks to the stone, and the stone, who does it talk to? Who should it talk to, cousin? It doesn't talk, it speaks, and whoever speaks, cousin, talks to no one. He speaks because no one hears him, no one and no one, and then he says, and he does, and not his mouth, and not his tongue, he and only he says, "Do you hear?" You hear, says he. I know, cousin, I know. You hear, he says, I'm there, I'm here, I've come with my stick, I and no other, I and not him, I with my hour undeserved, I who was touched, I who was not touched, I with my memory, I feeble memoried, I. Says he, you hear, he says, and hearest thou? Of course, hearest thou? He says nothing. He doesn't answer, because hearest thou? That's the one with the glaciers, the one who folded himself over 3 times, and not for humans. The green and white there, the one with the Turk's cap, the one with the rampion. But I, cousin, I'm standing here on this road I don't belong on, today, now, when it's gone down, it and its light, I here with my shadow, my own and alien, I who can say to you, on the stone is where I lay, back then, you know, on the stone slabs, and next to me they were lying there, the others, who were like me, the others who were different from me and just the same, the cousins, and they lay there and slept and did not sleep, and they dreamt and did not dream, and they did not love me, and I did not love them, because I was just one, and who wants to love just one? And they were many, even more than those lying around me, and who wants to go and love all of them? And, I won't hide it from you, I didn't love them, those who could not love me. I loved the candle that was burning there, to the left in the corner. I loved it because it was burning down, not because it was burning down, for it was really his candle, the candle that he, the father of our mothers, had kindled, because on that evening a day began, a certain one, a day that was the seventh, on which the first was to follow, the 7th and not the last. I loved, cousin, not it, I loved its burning down, and you know, I've loved nothing more since then. Nothing, no. Or maybe what was burning down like that candle on that day, the 7th and not the last. Not the last, no, because after all I am, here, on this road which they say is beautiful. Well, I'm near the Turk's Cap and the Rampion, and 100 yards further, over there, where I can go, the larch climbs up to the stone pine. I see it and don't see it, and my stick, it spoke to the stone, and my stick, it's keeping silent now, and the stone, you say, can speak, and in my eye the veil is hanging, the movable one, the veils are hanging, the movable ones, you lift one, and the second's already hanging there, and the star, oh yes, it's above the mountains now. If it wants to go in, it will have to get married, and soon not be itself any more, but half veil and half star, and I know, cousin, I know, I met you here, and we've talked a lot, and the fold's there, you know, for humans they're not, and not for us, who went walking and came on each other. We here under the star, we, the Jews who came here, like Lents, through the mountains, you gross and me klein, you the babbler and me the babbler, we with our sticks, we with our names unspeakable, we with our shadow, our own and alien, you hear and I hear. I hear, I who can say, could have said, all that to you, who don't say, and haven't said it to you. I with the Turk's cap on the left, I with the rampion, I with what burnt down, the candle, I with the day, I with the days, I here and I there, I, companioned perhaps, now, by the love of those not loved, I on my way to myself, up here.